I know, I'm sorry. I know I said in the last video when fitting the actuator that we were going to get the ST mapped in the next video after that. And I promise I did go and get the ST mapped somewhat, but we had a bit of a problem. So that problem being we were running out of fuel pressure. So as the car was getting into higher RPMs and higher boost, the fuel pump, which I believe is stock at the minute, was struggling and wasn't supplying enough fuel pressure. So it was basically leaning out. So we had to cut the tuning session short. I will reveal obviously next video when we fully go and get it mapped after doing this who it was, but a massive shout out to them. They've been fantastic. So we have another mod then before we get it mapped, and that is a Sytec fuel pump. Now I could have just gone with a stock one, but I do plan on going even more power and a bigger turbo in the future, so this will be perfect for that and also run the car just how it is now. So looks like we need to drop the fuel tank, start fitting this.
So first things first is to get the rear of the car as high in the air as I can. Prior to this I did drive the car until I hit 0 miles on the fuel gauge, as I didn't want to have to drain any of the fuel.
Okay then, so with the car up in the air we can get underneath, and there are just a few clips to undo. So we've got a few hoses going to the charcoal canister that need to be disconnected. There are then two further up the end just underneath the fuel tank there, and then we've got to undo the straps here, which are 2 bolts here and then one holding them both together at the end there. Then we can drop the tank down a little bit and get to the electrical connector and the hose on the fuel pump. Once those are down, the whole fuel tank can come down. We will obviously also need to disconnect the exhaust heat shield as well, because that's connected to it, bend it out the way, and that's pretty much it. So I'll start attacking that now.
Like I said then, the exhaust heat shield needs to be unbolted from the tank and bent out the way. It's just 2 10mm nuts on the fuel tank straps. You can then start undoing the lines going to the charcoal canister. These just have green tabs that you push in and they simply pull off. The top one will let some pressure out when it's disconnected.
So with the charcoal canister disconnected then, I did just forget to mention there are 2 at the top. So the lower thicker one is your fuel filler neck. Obviously that's where the fuel comes in from the top. And then the top little one is the breather hose. So we disconnect the top breather hose at the right end. There's the one use only clamp there, so you will need to replace it for a hose clamp. And then the lower one, we're actually going to disconnect it from the tank end instead and let the pipe just hang there. So I'll get onto that now and then we can move to the lines at the front.
Now this one use clamp was an absolute pain to get off until I finally realised I can just spin it around so the crimped bit faces me. Once I could get access to it, it simply just unclips and releases. The hose can then be pushed off and again you will get some pressure coming out. Next up is the fuel filler neck hose, and thankfully this already has a hose clamp on, so it's much easier to undo. Once it's loose, the hose can then be pulled off and moved to the side. The last lines to undo then are at the front of the fuel tank connecting to the hard lines. The bottom one has another one of those green clips you push in, so it's pretty simple. The top one however has a white clip that you have to push in at the top in order to then push the bottom part in.
Okay then, so now that all the fuel lines are disconnected and the filler neck and everything like that, all we've got to do now is get to the 3 bolts holding the straps to the body of the car, and then we can slowly lower the tank down, get to the electrical connector and the last hose, disconnect those, and then we can fully drop the tank.
There are 2 bolts holding the tank in at the back and 1 at the front. I broke all 3 bolts loose but left them in, as we'll need to support the tank first so it doesn't fall. With them all loose, I then lifted my jack up to the tank to take the weight, then I could whiz them out fully with the gun. I then tried for ages to drop the front of the tank enough to get the electrical connector, until I realised I need to unbolt the midsection of the exhaust and move it out the way. So I did exactly that. It's just 2 bolts holding it to the cat. Then push it off the hanger and pull it to the side. With the exhaust out the way, the front of the tank drops right down and I could finally undo the electrical connector for the fuel pump. Once the connector is off, the tank can be shifted forward and the whole thing drops down. Just make sure none of the lines are caught on anything. I then got the fuel tank onto one of my floor mats and pulled it out from under the car.
So that is the fuel tank out then, so this is how it sits in the car. The fuel pump and stuff is at the front. That is the connection that you have to undo. I was being a bit of an idiot and I thought that the clip was on this side, so I was dropping the tank really far down because I couldn't get in there. Not being able to see much, but the clip is actually there. You can get it just with your thumb, quickly press it in and it'll pop off. You don't actually have to disconnect that line because you've already disconnected it from the car, so that's okay. And then drop the front down first on an angle and then the back will surely follow. Just make sure none of the lines are caught. So now that it's out, we can start getting this undone and access the fuel pump.
I did remove the hose on top just so it's not in the way and doesn't get broken. I can then start undoing the hanger locking ring with a hammer and a pry bar. Just make sure you hit a different tab after a few hits to make sure they don't break. Once it's loose enough, I could then wind it off by hand, but before removing it fully, I did give it a quick clean to make sure none of the dirt falls in. A brush and some compressed air makes light work of it. I could then go ahead and remove the hanger, which was quite tight as there's a rubber seal around the top. When pulling it out, just be careful of the fuel gauge float.
Okay then, so this is the sort of fuel pump assembly that sits in there. This at the bottom is your swell pot, which keeps the fuel close to the fuel pump in the bottom. Just be wary of your float there, don't bend it because that is your petrol gauge, your fuel gauge. So if you bend it, it's going to be out of whack. So what we need to do is lift off all these little clips all the way around and that'll pop the bottom off and then we can get access to the fuel pump. I would definitely recommend wearing gloves for this bit because again fuel is going to go all over the place like that.
Removing the swirl pot was a bit fiddly as the tabs kept clicking themselves back on, but I found prying the screwdriver in and down worked well.
Out of the way, as you can see there, that is the fuel pump, stock fuel pump, and that is the filter around it. Just going to clean this up quick and we'll come back to it. Okay then, so to get the pump out, simply just pull up like so. You will see obviously fuel coming out because now that connection has broke, but you will also see that the top there pulls up. That is just the wiring obviously getting tight, and then just there you can see your electrical connector, so just wire that in, disconnect that, and that is the OEM fuel pump out. Time then to get onto the new Sytec one. I will have a link to this down below in the description. Nice cheeky air freshener which we'll put in the garage. And then here we have the fuel pump. Very nice. A new filter and then the wiring harness there to wire it in. I'm hoping though that the factory plug might just go in. I'm hoping so. We'll have a little minute there. I'm going to just quickly double check the plugs now just to make sure. Okay, so it won't fit, so we're going to have to use the harness, which unfortunately means we're going to have to do some cutting and soldering of some wires.
So with that conclusion, I went straight in and snipped the wires. Big mistake. With the factory plug removed, I then had to try and feed the new plug back through the hole, which was an absolute nightmare. To cut a long story short, I ended up detaching the two halves of the hanger so I could solder the wires together easier. Then added some butt connectors and heat shrink, thinking I'd smashed it out the park. But shortly after, I realised I'd made a mistake.
Now then we can get the fuel pump hanger and everything back together. One thing I have realised which you can hopefully learn from me, is I probably cut the connector way too short, and I wanted to do the soldering sort of out here, out of the hanger, instead of like up here in the middle. But now obviously the heat shrink and the connectors are so thick that I can't get them up the hole here. So this plug is sort of as far as I can go. But what I have realised is, with the fuel pump in the top like so, there is only one way it will go. You'll see inside there's a little circle, and that little brass sort of cylinder goes into there, and then the connector for the wire obviously is opposite that. So once it's pushed in, I can feed this up there at the plug, and I can just about clip it in.
Spoiler alert, it wasn't enough to clip in. So with my first attempt to complete fail, I decided to strip the hanger apart even more, starting with the black ring on the top side of the hanger.
As you just saw, I have completely snapped that black little ring there. I'm hoping it's not too big of a deal, because it will still push down and clip in there, but that has given me a little bit more room.
Second spoiler alert, it did not give me any more room.
So then a quick update in the last one. Obviously you saw I soldered these, connected them all, and I couldn't get the wires up this little hole to reach the connector on the fuel pump up in the top. So what I did is obviously took all the heat shrink off and the connectors, unsoldered them, and then this little bit in the middle just unclips from the bottom all down there. So I've pulled that off, put the wires back through, and as you can see I've got loads of room now. So what I'm going to do is solder the connector back on here, then I don't have to worry about getting the wires back through because they're already there, and hopefully that'll give us enough room to connect the fuel pump back up, and then we can finally put it all back together.
So with what felt like the 100th time soldering, I finally figured it out and could get the new plug connected for the final time. I got the wires soldered, then used butt connectors and heat shrink to protect them. With the wiring all done, the centre section can be put back in place, and the now broken ring can be clipped back in. Not forgetting the spring, then the plug can be fed up through the bottom half and they can be pushed back together. As you can see, there is now plenty of room to get the fuel pump plugged in. With the hanger all back together, we can turn our attention to the new fuel pump. You will need to take this little rubber piece off the original pump and use it on the new one. It just sits underneath the filter and will only go on one way. We can then get the new filter onto the Sytec pump. This just pushes on and again will only go on one way. Now that the new pump is set up, we can get it fitted into the hanger. Making sure to get the connector fully clipped in, it can then be pushed into the hole that I showed you earlier. The swirl pot is then the last thing to be refitted, and once again this only fits on one way.
So then, fuel pump finally all back together. What an absolute ordeal that was, but we finally got there in the end. So all that's left to do then, drop that back into the tank, get it under the car, lift it up, connect all the lines, and then bolt it all in, and that is job done.
Like I said then, it's just the reverse of getting it all out. Pump assembly can go back into the tank, making sure not to catch the fuel level float or any wires. I did find it easier to remove the rubber seal and put it into the tank first, then the pump assembly simply pushes in. Make sure it's tapped flush, then the locking ring can be refitted. I did apply some silicone spray to the threads just to help it go on easier. Once it's as tight as you can get it by hand, just give it a few more turns with the hammer and the pry bar. The line can be clipped back on and the tank can be pushed back under the car. I made sure to plug in the electrical connector before jacking the tank up into position. The trick is to get the back up over the subframe first, push the tank back and then lift up the front. With the tank still supported by the jack, I plugged the front fuel lines back in. Then I can lift the tank fully up and start winding in the bolts for the straps. I got the front bolt in first and fully tightened up. Once I'd got a rear bolt in, I could move the jack out and then get them both fully tightened up. With the tank now fully secured in place, I could get the fuel filler neck hose back on and tightened up. Then the breather hose can go back on. Just remember to fit a new hose clamp as the stock ones are a one-time use. That can then be tightened up, and then we can move on to the charcoal canister lines. Starting with the top one going into the tank, this one just simply clicks back on. And the same with the bottom one going into the canister, except this one's a bit more fiddly as there's a connector in the way. Final thing to do then is just get all the exhaust connected back up. I can then prime the fuel pump a few times by pressing the ignition on and off. This will fill the lines back up with fuel and also give me confirmation that the new fuel pump is working. I made sure to check for any leaks, and with it all being good, we can go for the first start. I did one last check for leaks and that's job done. All that's left to do is get the car back down on the ground and go fill up with fuel.
And there we have it then. What an absolute job that was. The biggest faff, again, as you saw, was just trying to get that wiring done. For some reason I have no idea why you would sell an aftermarket pump and then just use a different connector. But that's the way it is. I will have the link down below to the Sytec 340 litres per hour pump down below in the description box. I will say it again, and I'm fingers crossed, in the next video we will be going to get it mapped. We will be returning to who we went to last time. That will be revealed in the next video. Thank you very, very much for watching. I did just want to mention that I have received my first payment from YouTube ads, and that is all thanks to you guys. So please continue watching. Everyone please subscribe, it helps massively. Thank you very much for watching. See you in the next one.